Welcome, fellow historians, to a journey beyond the known chronicles of the Imperium. We often speak of Paul Atreides, the rise of the God Emperor, and the scattering. The forgotten lore, decipher the cryptic symbols, and piece together the epic sagas that shaped humanity's destiny among the stars. Subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss our first expedition into the deep past. The spice isn't the only treasure Arrakis holds.
The desert does not care. It does not weep. It does not forgive. It watches and it waits. On Arrakis, every step is a wager with death. Heat shatters stone. Wind sculpts dunes into moving walls. Sand drinks the careless and buries the forgotten. The spice glitters like promise and cuts like a blade. Empires arrive with banners and laws. They leave with bones and silence. Here, softness is erased. Comfort is stripped away. Masks are torn off. The desert tests bloodlines, faith, and the secret places of the soul. It breaks the weak. It remakes the worthy. And sometimes it crowns a monster. This is not a world to be conquered. It is a judge. Listen to the sand, to the whisper beneath the wind, to the deep thunder of Shai who lud moving unseen. Arrakis teaches one lesson in a voice of dust and fire. Survive or be unmade. There is a reason the universe speaks the name Arrakis with a quiet hesitation. A world of burning horizons, of parched prayers, of lives measured not in years, but in water. Here, survival is not a right. It is a discipline, a creed, a shaping force that carves itself into flesh, memory, and destiny. Great houses see a resource, spice, power. They see trade routes, theme contracts, and the games of the land's rod. But the planet itself does not see them. It feels only the weight of their footsteps and the arrogance of their intentions. And then it answers. Across its deserts walk Fremen whose eyes burn with melange, whose language carries the echo of storms, and whose faith is bound to Shai who lud, the vast, living mystery beneath the dunes. Their world taught them silence, patience, and lethal grace. It taught them to waste nothing. Not water, not movement, not hope. In this documentary, we will enter Arrakis as historians and as philosophers. We will ask why this planet destroys those who are unprepared. Why does it transform those who endure? And why, beneath the cruelty of the desert, there is a harsh, unmistakable truth. Nothing grows here unless it is strong. Before Arrakis became a symbol, it was simply a wound in space. A barren sphere turning beneath a merciless sun, wrapped in storms like coiled serpents. No oceans to soften its edges. No forests to cradle the wind. Only dunes that move like slow animals, and silence that feels alive. Its history is not written in ink. It is carved by the wind and swallowed by sand. Long before the great houses turned their gaze toward this world, Arrakis had already chosen its path. The planet had rejected abundance. It had refused softness. Its ecology revolved around extremes, scorching days, freezing nights, and a desert so vast that maps become lies. Life learned to hide, to conserve, to wait. Everything fragile perished. Everything stubborn evolved. And beneath the dunes, something older listened. The great makers, Shai who lud, do not negotiate. They do not recognize thrones, treaties, or bloodlines. They are time-given teeth. They shape the rhythms of the planet, and in return the planet shapes the civilizations that dare to live upon it. Their presence makes every step a question. Every sound is a risk. Every vibration a prayer. Then came the discovery that would chain the galaxy to this wasteland. Melange, the spice that extends life, sharpens awareness, opens doors the mind was not built to open. It became the incense of power, fueling the navigators of the Spacing Guild, the the visions of the Bene Gesserit, the calculations of mentats, and the ambitions of emperors. And so Arrakis changed from distant desert to center of destiny. A crucible of politics, prophecy, and prophet. The Imperium could not ignore it. The land's rod could not avoid it. The throne of the Padishah Emperor itself trembled toward it. But the desert did not change. It watched house after house arrive with machinery, with quotas, with dreams of control. It watched them build cities of stone and metal at the edge of a sea of moving sand. It watched them underestimate silence. And then it erased them. Harkonnen rule fed on cruelty. On GD Prime, brutality was a culture, and they carried that poison into Arrakis like smoke. They believed fear would conquer the desert. They believed spice was simply a resource to be harvested. They believed the planet could be bled forever. The desert disagreed. Even House TREY, noble in intention, learned that Arrakis does not reward goodness. It rewards adaptation. The dreams of Duk Leto and the destiny of Paul Atreides both collided with the same truth. This is not a world that bends to will. It is a world that reveals what will truly is. And in the deep places of sand, far from the palaces and the mining crawlers, another history endured, the history of the Fremen. They did not simply survive Arrakis. They became Arrakis. Their lives were shaped by still suits that recycled every drop of moisture, by sieges carved into stone like hidden hearts, and by rituals that sanctified water as a life-giving force. They walked without rhythm to avoid calling death from below. They listened to the whisper of dunes. Their legends spoke of the Lee San Al Gabe, of a voice carried on the storm, of a future in which the desert itself would be transformed. But until that day, they bowed to nothing but the sand. Their culture emerged not from luxury, but from deprivation, from the constant awareness that a single mistake, a wrong step, a torn still suit, a careless word, could end everything. Weakness here was not punished symbolically. It was punished physically, immediately, without appeal. And yet, paradoxically, within this harshness bloomed strength, loyalty, and a depth of meaning unknown to the soft worlds of Caladan or the pleasure cities of the Imperium. Arrakis became the hidden teacher of the galaxy. It taught rulers that titles are weightless in a sandstorm. It taught armies that discipline breaks before thirst does. It taught prophets that visions are nothing unless lived. Every empire that touched it walked away altered or didn't walk away at all. And then, destiny placed Paul Atreides into this crucible, a child of House Atreides, shaped by Bene Gesserit training, haunted by dreams, guided by ancient plans and unforeseen possibilities. He stepped onto Arrakis not as conqueror, not yet as Messiah, but as a learner standing before a relentless teacher. The planet was waiting. It always waits. The central conflict of Arrakis is not merely political. It is ecological, spiritual, existential. It is the collision between human desire and an indifferent world. Empires arrive seeking control. Arrakis answers with consequence. When House Atreides took stewardship of the planet, they inherited not only spice production, but a trap. The transition from Harkonnen to Atreides was engineered to fail. In the shadows of the Imperium, the Bear Vladimir Harkonnen waited with patient hatred, and the Padishah Emperor masked his fear of Duk Leto's rising popularity behind the mirrored armor of the Sar Daukar. Politics sharpened its knives. Assassins rehearsed their loyalty. Every corridor in Arrakeen learned to whisper. But this conflict ran deeper than vendetta. It was the question of who truly rules Arrakis. The Harkonnen believed rule meant extraction, ripping spice from the planet's skin, burning the desert with machinery, chaining lives to quotas. The Imperium believed rule meant decree, royal edicts, TM contracts, military threat. The Bene Gesserit believed rule meant subtlety, breeding programs, prophecies, planted legends. All of them believed power was something imposed from above. Arrakis disagreed. Power here rises from below. From the sand. From the storms. From Shai-Hulud. From the Fremen who live closer to the heartbeat of the planet than any throne ever could. The central conflict becomes clear. Civilization tries to dominate the desert, but survival on Arrakis requires submission to it. Paul Atreides enters the storm. The fall of House Atreides is not merely a coup. It is a ritual stripping away. Titles dissolve. Palaces burn. Every comfort of Caladan is taken, every illusion of safety shattered. In the chaos, betrayal, explosions, the cry of Sardaukar descending like iron rain. A boy becomes prey in the most ancient landscape of fear. And then the desert closes around him. What survives that moment is not the noble son of a duke, not the student of a mentat, not the carefully bred candidate of Bene Gesserit prophecy. What survives is something being rewritten by sand and thirst and silence. Arrakis takes Paul Atreides and begins to carve him. The conflict turns inward. The desert does not simply test bodies. It tests purpose. Paul confronts visions that stretch like dunes toward impossible horizons, futures of jihad, of burning worlds, of worship twisted into conquest. He sees himself as Muad'Dib, sees legions shouting his name across the stars, sees blood spilled in his shadow. He does not want it, and yet the future leans toward him like a falling blade. He learns from the Fremen, from Stilgar's iron calm, from Chaney's fierce clarity, from the Siege life that contains both tenderness and ruthless practicality. He learns that weakness here is not an insult. It is a liability that endangers the tribe. He learns that water is wealth, that tears are rare, that grief itself must be disciplined. And Arrakis continues to press its question. Who are you when the desert has taken everything else? The Harkonnen answer with cruelty. They become what the planet reflects back at them. Predatory, hardened, joyless. They rule by pain because they themselves are shaped by fear. They do not listen to Arrakis. They scream at it. And in the long arc of history, the desert waits for such rulers to fall. The Fremen answer with transformation. They do not try to soften Arrakis. They become lethal in its image, quiet, patient, relentless. Their still suits cling like second skins. Their knives are made from the teeth of Shai-Hulud. Even their legends carry the scent of dust and prophecy. They are not the victims of the desert. They are its children. Paul Atreides stands between these answers. The central conflict sharpens. Will Arrakis be a resource or a revelation? The Bene Gesserit breeding program sees him as a tool, a path toward the Kwisatz Haderach, the shortening of the way, the key to hidden genetic memory. The Emperor sees him as a threat. The Harkonnen see him as prey. The Fremen begin to see him as Lee San El Gabe, a voice from outside who somehow speaks the language of inside, a figure wrapped in destiny. And yet, beneath every title and prophecy, the real confrontation remains the same. A human mind against a world that does not care. Arrakis breaks those who cling to certainty. It shatters those who believe they can take without giving. It exposes weakness not as moral failure, but as incompatibility with reality. The planet is unforgiving because survival here requires absolute honesty, about limits, about fear, about purpose. The battles, the raids, the politics, the duels, all are reflections of this deeper conflict. When Phaedra trains under the shadow of Harkonnen cruelty, when the Emperor hides elite killers behind ritual and ceremony, when the land's rod pretends at unity while plotting division, they are all orbiting Arrakis without understanding its gravity. The desert is not background. It is protagonist. Every worm sign in the distance. every vibration beneath the feet, every gust that erases footprints before memory forms. All of it speaks a single question: what will you become to survive me? Paul Atreides answers not with words, but with transformation. He becomes Muad'Dib, a name taken from the desert itself, from a small creature that survives through awareness and speed. He learns the rhythms of the sand. He rides Shai Hulud, not as conqueror but as participant in the oldest dance of the planet. He accepts the harshness and is reshaped by it. And then the conflict stops being house versus house. It becomes future versus fate. The jihad that rises in his visions is not a choice he makes lightly. It is the shadow cast by survival itself, the momentum of belief and power and devotion ignited in a place where life is always moments from extinction. Arrakis teaches loyalty with the same intensity it teaches brutality. Love here burns like spice in the blood. Hatred lasts like scars in stone. The central conflict of Arrakis is therefore not resolved by victory in battle. It is resolved by becoming something new. The weak are destroyed because they refuse to change. The worthy are transformed because they surrender to change. And as banners rise over Arrakis, as cities tremble, as the galaxy feels the first tremor of a coming storm, the desert remains the silent judge, watching, waiting, whispering through the spice-filled wind. This is the price. Arrakis is not only a place. It is an idea made physical, a philosophy written in sand and scarcity. At its core lies a stark question: what is strength? Soft worlds measure strength in comfort, in inheritance, in how much can be owned without effort. Arrakis rejects this illusion. Strength here is not domination. It is in alignment with reality. It is the ability to adapt without breaking, to endure without losing meaning, to face the truth that the universe is not obligated to your survival. The desert strips away lies. It removes the scaffolding that softer civilizations build around themselves: unlimited water, abundant food, endless distraction. On Arrakis, every breath is deliberate. Every action has a consequence. This sharpness forces clarity. Life persists only through discipline, through community, through sacrifice, not through entitlement. Philosophically, Arrakis becomes a mirror of the human condition. All existence is precarious. All comfort is temporary. Yet most of civilization distracts itself from this truth with luxury and illusion. The desert refuses to cooperate with denial. It brings mortality close enough to taste. It teaches that survival is never guaranteed. It is earned moment by moment in the face of indifference. And then it pushes deeper. Arrakis asks another question: what is destiny? To the Bene Gesserit, destiny is engineered, a path sculpted through bloodlines and prophecy aimed toward the Kwisatz Haderach. To the Imperium, destiny is inherited, the right of Ku-Ari no blood to rule. To the Harkonnen, destiny is seized, power taken through fear and clever cruelty. But the desert suggests something else. Destiny is not imposed from above. It rises from environment, from necessity, from the pressures that shape a people over centuries. The Fremen do not merely believe in prophecy, they are forged into the shape of one by their world. Their faith, their ferocity, their patience, these are not arbitrary traits. They are ecological adaptations that have become spiritual truths. Arrakis shows how environment becomes philosophy. Scarcity becomes discipline. Danger becomes community. Silence becomes contemplation. Harshness becomes meaning. And so Paul Atreides, standing within this world, becomes more than an individual. He becomes the intersection of systems, political structures, genetic programs, environmental realities, mythic expectations. When he steps into the role of Muad'Dib, it is not simply personal choice. It is the gravitational pull of everything Arrakis has created. Here lies the darkest meaning. Transformation has a cost. Arrakis destroys weakness, but it also destroys innocence. It creates resilience, but it can create fanaticism. The same forces that forge Fremen's strength also forge a capacity for holy war. The same desert that purifies purpose can ignite extremity. Survival in an unforgiving world produces people who cannot be half-committed, and that intensity can reshape galaxies. The desert teaches clarity. It does not teach mercy. The philosophy of Arrakis is therefore double-edged. To live truthfully in a harsh universe, you must become harsh enough to survive it. To gain the strength of the desert, you must accept the desert entering you. Paul sees this clearly. His visions of galaxies burning are not fantasies of power. They are the logical consequence of devotion combined with scarcity and myth. He is not simply crowned. He is carried by momentum that began long before his birth, in sandstorms, in still suits, in whispered legends inside hidden sieges. He becomes Muad'Dib because Arrakis produces Muad'Dibs. And then, the deepest question of all emerges from the sand. What is freedom? To soft worlds, freedom means choice without consequence. To Arrakis, freedom means mastery of necessity. The Fremen are not free because the world is gentle. They are free because they have learned its rules so completely that they can ride Shai who Lud, turn death into transportation, and transform scarcity into identity. Freedom here is the ability to live inside reality without being broken by it. The desert, then, becomes a spiritual teacher, austere, indifferent, and utterly honest. It forces humanity to confront the limits of comfort, the illusions of power, and the inevitability of change. It whispers a truth that echoes far beyond one planet, into every life. Strength is not given. It is shaped by hardship. Meaning is not found. It is carved from struggle. Destiny is not promised. It is paid for. Arrakis is harsh, but harshness is not its cruelty. Harshness is its truth. The desert waits. Storms rise. Footprints vanish. The deep shapes move beneath the sand, ancient and patient, as empires argue over banners that will one day be dust. Arrakis does not hurry. It lets history come to it. Those who arrive seeking comfort are swallowed. Those who arrive seeking control are broken. Those who arrive seeking understanding are changed. In the end, the harsh truth of Arrakis is simple. This world destroys the weak, not out of malice, but out of reality. And it transforms the worthy, not out of kindness, but out of necessity. It is a crucible. It burns away illusion. It reveals what survives when everything unnecessary has been taken. It shows that greatness is not born in palaces of water, but in places where every drop matters, where every heartbeat is heard by the sand, where every decision echoes. Arrakis is not the enemy. It is the test. And somewhere in its dunes, in the whispering spice, in the thunder of Shai who Lud moving through the deep, a lesson continues to be spoken. Become more than you were, or be erased. The desert does not care, but it remembers.